Today's video is sponsored by Native Sons Goods, makers of the highest quality woven guitar, bag, and camera straps you'll ever see. Native Sons straps are handmade one at a time in the USA with unparalleled love and care. Click the link in the description to check out their new expanded lineup featuring all new 3-inch guitar straps. And remember, when you support my sponsor, you support this channel, and I sure appreciate it.
Hey y'all, it's Shed Post Friday.
Something is about to happen that has not happened for an age.
Hey, how's it going, good and sexy people? Brad the Guitologist here, and it is time again for
Shitpost Friday.
First up, this Shitpost Friday. It has been almost 13 years, which is a lifetime for a lot of young people. I guess if you're younger than 13. Since Tool released its last album, 10,000 Days, and they have just finally confirmed a release date for their new album, which is going to be August the 30th of 2019. They also have debuted a couple of songs live off of this new album, and so far, at least, it sounds pretty promising. And also, Forbes is reporting that Tool will finally be adding their music to Spotify and other streamable services. So I still don't think that's gonna attract me to Spotify, but oh well. At least Tool's releasing new album. Yay! Before we get away from the news, I wanted to show you guys this crazy thing. This is a guitar that was built by Dunnable Guitars. And what it is, it's a guitar, but it's also basically like a hash pipe. And you can see here, I mean, this dude just basically token up on his guitar. They released this for a California 420 smokeout festival, I suppose it was, where they raffled it off to the attendees. And yeah, sure enough, it's a fully functional pipe as well as functional guitar. I can't imagine trying to get this thing through customs, and I can't imagine these guys when they get older looking back on this video, you know, when they finally have kids.
You don't go out looking for a job dressed like that, do you?
In other news, I thought this was really cool. I saw this on a Facebook group called Guitar Pickup Winders / Builders, and this gentleman, David Schwab, had posted a picture, and this picture came from a video that Fender released where they kind of detail how the new Jimmie Page Telecaster came about. And in this video, they show a still clip of the bottom side of the Jimmie Page Telecaster bridge pickup, and you can clearly see that he's using some ceramic magnets that he's basically just stuck on the bottom of this pickup haphazardly. And this is obviously an attempt to try to get more oomph, you know, more output out of these vintage pickups. And this guy kind of picked up on that and tried to recreate the effect with some pickups of his own. And what he did was he took a jazz bass pickup, as you can see here, and in this first pick, he's actually testing it with his Gauss meter, and he's testing it without anything added to it. And you can see there that he gets a certain reading, and then he adds some of these magnets, and then he gets a higher Gauss reading. And then he goes back and he adds just a metal plate to the bottom, and then he adds the metal plate and the magnets, and the whole time he's basically building up a higher and higher Gauss reading on this pickup, which I thought was just really interesting, and something that we may experiment with on this channel in the future, but I wanted to at least show you this experiment that he was making here, which I thought was pretty interesting. But yeah, David Schwab was his name. Thank you, David, for allowing me to use your photos. And the name of his company is Coney Island Guitars, if you guys want to go check him out. Okay, this photograph I thought was interesting. This was sent to me by Kit Robinson, and he says that he left this strap in his case with his Guild 301B bass guitar, and the pattern of the weave basically kind of etched itself into the lacquer finish. I have had similar things happen to guitars with their finishes and things being left inside the case, and usually it tends to happen with things that are either rubber that are left inside the case are things that are kind of plastic and, you know, other materials that tend to degrade over time or kind of gas off. They react sometimes really negatively with nitrocellulose lacquer. Here was another instance that I had where a Fender Mustang, it was beautiful in all respects except for this one area where it actually had come into contact with one of those coily cables, one of the old ones that were you know, kind of rubberized on the outside, and that rubberized exterior insulator had come into contact with the nitrocellulose inside the case, I guess for a long period of time. Somebody just threw it in there, and it clearly just deteriorated the finish, which was a bit of a shame, but you know, this is the sort of thing that does happen. You just got to be really careful about it. Usually modern materials are a little less prone to do this, it seems. I think some of the plastics and the rubbers and things have improved to the point where they don't gas off quite as much and they don't cause these sorts of problems, but still something to keep in mind if you keep your guitar in its case. You know, it's a good idea to open the cases every now and then anyway and let any kind of gases that have kind of developed inside the case to escape. And you know, I get a lot of email, I get a lot of messages via Facebook, and I get a lot of text messages and calls and stuff that I don't answer anymore, because if I answered all my phone calls, man, I would spend probably all day on the phone. No offense to anyone, but I do screen my phone calls, just in case you did not know that. But I thought this email was kind of particularly interesting. I received a while back. This is from the Daphne Blue Band. It says, "Guitologist, you are a stud. Tell me something I didn't know. We wish we had someone near like you. We were John Lee Hooker's band members," which is just super cool, and the great Earl Hooker. "When our amps broke over the years, we just bought new ones and put the old ones in storage. Pattern just kept repeating for decades. Lots of amps in storage. If you want some MP3s, let me know. Some real beauties have come across your workbench. Ray and Fred." So Ray and Fred would be Freddie Roulette and Ray Bronner. And yeah, sure enough, these guys, they sent along some pictures and stuff. Here's one particularly where one of these fellas is sitting down with Frank Zappa, which is super cool. But yeah, very, very cool. Thanks, Fred and Ray. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely send me some MP3s, man, if you guys have any MP3s. And man, I'd sure love to see some photos of the kind of stuff you claim to have stowed away. And next time you go to your storage facility, maybe take a camera with you and get some video. I'd love to see that. I wanted to show you guys this thing that I got the other day at a Goodwill for $19, and I don't know if you'll ever see it or not. $19.99. I left the tags on there so you'd be able to see them, so you'd know I wasn't full of it. But yeah, $19.99, and this is a Sigma model CS2 Classical. Not the greatest guitar in the world, but not the worst. It's all laminates. I had to change out the crappy plastic saddle because I just hate plastic saddles, and plus it was too high anyway. Instead of, you know, sitting there shaving on a plastic saddle like an idiot, I just went ahead and replaced it with a bone one, and got the action fairly low. It's not super low. I could probably go a little bit lower with it, but it's at least playable, whereas before it wasn't playable at all. Also stuck a set of Hannah box strings. I like these strings quite a lot on there, and Also broken nails, so I can't really play classical correctly right now. You see the two, got two longer nails, and then that one broke. That one's the one that always seems to break on me, almost invariably. This one gets super long, and then this one always breaks. But yeah, anyway, you know, a $20 guitar, it's kind of hard to shake a stick at that. All right, let's take a look at some viewer mail now. Okay, the first package we're going to open this week is from the same guy who sent us a package the other day. This is from Tim Horan, and this looks like he has sent me the third, what is this? It's a 2 LP set of Big Star. This is like their, I guess something that was posthumously released maybe, that was some of their demo stuff, and also some other, I guess, studio stuff as well. It's interesting that that he just took it upon himself to like outfit me with the entire Big Star collection. You know, it's just like, man, you know what? This dude needs some Big Star in his life. And I have been enjoying those other two albums. I thank you very much, Tim. And I'm sure this is going to be cool too. Complete third. Demos to sessions to roughs. Interesting. All right. Yeah, man, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy that very much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, dude. Always enjoy getting fresh vinyl. This package is from a former sponsor, Darren, whose company is Silver Falls Trading Company. And I'm pretty sure I know what this is already. He said he was going to send me a pound of his finest Jungle Brew, which was my... And man, I could smell this already. I could smell it before I even opened the package. And man, this stuff smells so good. This is really good coffee, guys. I mean, if you need a consistent coffee supplier, definitely check out Darren and his company, Silver Falls Trading Company. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to support his company, man. He's what he does, I think his big thing that he likes to do is wait until somebody actually places an order before he roasts the beans. And the thing that he explained to me was, and I didn't know this about coffee. I don't know much about coffee at all. I just know I like to drink it. You know what I mean? And I know when something tastes good. But he explained to me that, you know, basically the aging process, the freshness degradation begins at the moment that you roast the beans. So, and he even tells you what date he roasted it on. Right on the packaging, so there's no question about that. And of course, he'll send you whole beans, or he'll grind it to your specifications as well if you want him to. So very cool, man. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna definitely enjoy it. I might even put on a pot of that right now. All right, this third package is from Mark Keller. It's a piece of equipment. Has he? Oh, is this a power supply? I think this is the power supply. I think this is supposed to be a power supply. Let's get this thing out of here. There's a fuse. I guess that probably sticks out the back or something too far. All right, this is a Heathkit EUW15. Let's see. We've got a divider voltage. I have no idea. I have no idea how to use this. We've got 6.3 volt filament supply. I guess that's up to 100 milliamp DC supply here, but I wonder how high the voltage goes. It doesn't really say, does it? Interesting. I do have another high voltage power supply that I redid on the channel at one point. It's a Vocam, and it's a British made thing, but this is pretty neat. Yeah, I may have to do something with this to experiment around with it. It does give you at least a diagram of where everything hooks up here. I wonder if this must require some Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a manual or something on this and just see, you know, how it's meant to be used and everything. I mean, obviously I can see that it's got a 6-volt power supply, and I've got some DC power supply here, but I don't know how high the DC voltage goes. And this is a voltage regulator, so this will go, let's turn the voltage up and down, I'm sure. So you know what they say about curiosity and what it did to the cat. I'm just hoping it doesn't do the same thing to the Guitologist. But I'm going to plug this power supply in. The fuse doesn't look like it had been blown, so I've got at least pretty reasonable hopes that this thing should work okay. Let's see, we'll put the fuse in. But yeah, that's why I took it out, because the fuse would have stuck out the back too far. And I'm gonna assume that this is the correct value fuse. Not knowing anything really about this, but I'm too curious not to plug it in, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. And I think I may go ahead and just dial it up rather than just shocking it to life, because who knows how long it's been since this thing was even turned on. I'm presuming this indicator light will come on any second. Looks like it's firing up. It is drawing some current, so alright, there we are at the full 120 volts, and that light is indeed on. And there's the high voltage now on. I'm gonna turn the high voltage back off just for a second. I want to check. I'm just curious about the how much voltage is present here. I mean, it surely is enough that you can test a pair of output tubes or something. That's what I would think. So there's 9 volts right there. DC 6.6 volts. 4.8 volts. So okay, so I think this divider is actually what it's doing is it's taking, there's a set DC voltage, like on the highest setting is 5 probably, and then it kind of bleeds off from there. So like, okay, so that's 11.3 volts, and then it probably goes down a little bit there to 9.2, and then 6.9, 5 volts, which makes sense, is a useful voltage, and then about 3 volts. So yeah, that makes sense. And then off is going to be off, I'm guessing, about 1 volt, or close to off. But yeah, okay. And then we've got the regulator voltage. Let's go back. I'm going to go back over here. Actually, there's 2 different settings here, which is odd. 260 volts right there, and that's all the way up. But there's another one. I wonder what's going on with that. That's weird, because there's a setting there, and then there's a setting there. There's 4 or 5 different settings, so what? It just keeps going around. Interesting. Okay, so that one's 265 volts, and that's off. And then that's still off. Right there, the light came on momentarily right there. That's kind of scary when it comes on and then goes off. It's on right down there too. Look at that. 444 volts right there. Okay, I wonder if I can turn it down. 444 volts still. $479. And then back down to about, oh, it went off. And it's draining off. like a cap is discharging. Okay, well that's interesting. It does have some different settings there. I'll have to find a manual for this. 191 right there. And did I say this did regulate? Whoop, yeah, up to 265. So it does change it. But then you've got to turn this to get to a different range, I guess. Okay, so cool. I mean, it is a working power supply, and it's a higher voltage power supply. And this will operate, you know, if I want to do like a some kind of tube prototyping project, something like that. I could use this for tube amp prototyping. So very cool, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Mark. Okay, I almost forgot about this. Fender finally got back to me. You guys who follow the channel may know last week I did a thing on Fender where I was talking about Fender being bullies, but also I covered the CMA raid over in the UK where the Competition and Markets Authority had raided Fender's offices, and one of the senior officials at Fender had apparently hidden some company notebooks that had some information that the CMA would have wanted. And at any rate, Fender had given these things back to the CMA, and they'd been fined £25,000 for their trouble. And apparently my message made it up the chain somewhere at Fender. Duncan Smith from Fender, who is an associate director, it looks like he's an associate director at Freuds.com. I'm not sure what Freuds.com is. Maybe that's some PR firm. I'm not sure, but it could be an outside PR firm. But anyway, he says that this statement should be attributed to a Fender EMEA spokesperson. So that would be, I guess, European. I'm not sure what EMEA is. Fender Europe something. Anyway, a Fender EMEA spokesperson said, "We are disappointed to be fined for the actions of a single former UK-based employee who acted without Fender's knowledge. We do not condone such behavior and are pleased that the Competition and Markets Authority recognized that. Upon Fender's becoming aware of the individual's actions, we immediately investigated, located the documents, and supplied them." Full stop. That's the entire quote. So anyway, I wanted to make sure that we put that out there because I did publish last week that story, and it did not include any comment from Fender, so I want to make sure Fender has their fair say on this matter. Although, I mean, it's basically just repeating the things that we already knew. Alright guys, that'll do it for Shitpost Friday. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have, please, as always, hit subscribe down below. Hit the bell to receive all notifications. Also check out Channel 2. And for now, we'll see y'all later.